And joining us now for reaction is New York Republican Congresswoman and member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Claudia Tenney. Congresswoman, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming back.
Great to be on.
Let me start with Joe Biden, if I can. President Biden not appearing on a lot of these stumping campaigns, if you will. Talk to me about that. Is this a strategy or something else?
Definitely a strategy. They're hiding it. Look, a guy with among the lowest presidential ratings in the modern era. Why would you want him on your campaign just to bring you down? I mean, I hear on the campaign trail, obviously where there's a primary tomorrow in New York and in Florida, but we're hearing from Republicans, but we also hear from moderates and Democrats that they do not want to hear about Joe Biden. I mean, people are really upset about inflation, the price of gas. They're upset about now this renewal of, we're seeing this debacle that was in Afghanistan. And even worse, we are seeing actually illegal immigrants from the border, we think, coming into my own home county and all around. And we're trying to confirm these stories. People are upset about these things. Crime, he does absolutely nothing to appease or even to do anything to help the American people.
Looking at something that you pointed on in terms of where the direction of the country, NBC News conducted a poll, the direction of the country in terms of those that responded. 74% think the country is headed in the wrong direction. 21% say it's the right direction. The president's approval rating right now, again, according to that NBC News poll, is at 42%. Does any of this surprise you? What shocks you the most? What doesn't?
Look, I'm not surprised at all. I go all over the place. I mean, I've been campaigning like crazy. I was just in Wyoming County the same day that Liz Cheney was losing in the state of Wyoming, and I ran into some kids from FFA, that's Future Farmers of America. And this is how simple the message is. We want mean tweets and $1.89 gas. People are hurting in these rural upstate areas, especially agriculture and farming, which is, by the way, the #1 industry in New York State. And everything the president is doing, this latest so-called Inflation Reduction Act, which is exactly what it isn't going to do, has a Green New Deal element to it. New Yorkers are facing our own version of the Green New Deal. Our farmers are really feeling the pain, as are our small business community. And what was also in that bill is the big Wall Street private equity guys got a break, but we're going to hurt these smaller, lower income taxpayers, small businesses, lower income taxpayers. We're going to unleash 87,000 IRS agents that are going to go after them. Why didn't we put these people at the border? Or maybe we should have put some taxpayer advocates in place. That's what we're seeing in my official office, is people are still not getting the relief they need from the IRS, even back from the pandemic. So the IRS has a lot of problems, weaponizing the IRS, weaponizing the FBI. These government agencies aren't helping the American people, and the people feel it. They see it across all party lines, is what I'm experiencing.
You're talking about people hurting, something you mentioned right at the beginning there. The Energy Secretary spoke on this in a way to help Americans. Here's her idea.
And of course, the savings from a vehicle perspective of owning, maintaining, and not having to fill up are just enormous.
Essentially, the Secretary Granholm says that you could save money if you own an electric vehicle, which averages around $67,000 to purchase one. But also on the Sunday shows, which I wish we had that soundbite, she talks about solar panels. You can finance these solar panels and then save yourself 30% off on your energy bills. But you'd have to, again, if you finance it, you've got to go into debt while you're already paying more just about everywhere else. Is that a feasible solution that Americans are buying from what you hear, Congresswoman?
Absolutely not. This is unsustainable. It is unreliable energy. Look, solar and wind are supplemental. We are now a fossil fuel driven economy. We have natural gas, and we still have 28% of this country, and our grid relies on coal. And natural gas has been a real lifesaver to this country as we've discovered cleaner and better ways of exploring natural gas. And we have it in New York, but we're one of the only states that bans the safe, responsible gas drilling. And we could actually find prosperity. We could actually have some energy security. Solar and wind are not reliable. I can't believe Jennifer Granholm comes from a cold winter state. Come to upstate New York in the winter and try to drive an electric tractor or try to drive up and down, in an electric vehicle or operate our anything from our energy grid using only electric. We have a lot of options. We have nuclear power, which is emission free, but the Democrats are terrified of that. We have to start getting smart about energy. And that is really the central core of what's going on in this country. The war on energy is creating all the supply chain problems, the downturn in the economy, the inflation. If we would just have smart, reasonable energy policy, we would see more prosperity immediately.
Let me jump into last thoughts for you, specifically on your campaign, redistricting there in your area, I believe. Talk to me about your campaign, primaries tomorrow. What concerns you? Are there any concerns?
Yeah, well, we have a great day. Things are looking really good on the ground for us. Today at 6 o'clock, President Trump is going to be doing a tele-rally to emphasize his endorsement of me and to make sure that we get people out to vote. It's really important that we start tackling inflation, the price of gas, supporting our agricultural community, our small businesses, dealing with the border disaster, supporting our veterans and the military. That's something we need to do. That's something I've been fighting for, and I have a proven record of doing that. I think we're going to have great success tomorrow, and we really are grateful to everyone who's come out to support us. And great to have all the endorsements, particularly President Trump.